Hey everyone, FusedVR coming at ya, and today doing our second video in this series on our codename Lost on Time project. So super excited, got a lot of work done, and there's a lot to kind of cover today. So I'm just gonna dive right into it. So to start, we have this Instagram video that I put out. It was a ton of fun. It was just a 1 hour time lapse of me working on Lost in Time. If I remember correctly, this was just adding in the time ring to that. So that's one of the things that I was able to do this week. It took me about a little longer than this video that I'm showing on Instagram, but got that working. After that, had to celebrate with a little bit of Beat Saber. Go ahead, check that out on our Instagram because great video. I was a huge fan. Next, wanted to talk about some of the questions you guys had. As you know, I try to read all the comments that we get on all of our videos and respond to all of them. And so if you have questions about things you want to see in this series or just kind of say hi, that means a lot to me and I love hearing what you guys have to say. So just quickly going through it, Eddie says, love the idea of 1 month projects, and I also appreciate all of the support. It was a blast on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Really appreciate that, and that's just going to keep helping us push forward. So that was super awesome. And Eddie's working on some cool stuff, so definitely hit him up. Andrew says, sweet. Fexa says, looks really good. Any plans on the movement tutorial? So quick note on that. It's very similar actually to this video, Flying Like Superman. I'll leave a link to that in the description and also on the end card and all of the stuff that YouTube does. So you can definitely go check that out. It should be, it's like a 13-minute video just to get, basically it's just vector math to get the flying to work. The only real tweak, and I'll show that a little later, is in Unity I turned off the physics gravity. In here there is physics gravity, but that's really the only difference that you'll see. Push the button says, really hope you'll make it to the end. We're going to try to. I really hope we will. Are you going to use VRTK so you can publish to all platforms? So we're just going to be using Unity and the Steam VR interaction system. Main reason for this is VRTK kind of 3, I forget 3 something, whatever that version was, I think 3.3 is kind of deprecated to a certain extent, and then VRTK 4.0, which is the one where they got funding from Oculus, is actually going into full swing. So since I usually like to work with things that are a little stable, so what I'm actually going to be working with is the Steam VR interaction system, which kind of comes with the Steam VR SDK. Unfortunately, it's not as cross-platform as Oculus, although of course it does support Oculus through the Steam VR. But one thing that I'm trying to do really hard, and I'll show this when I get into diving into Unity, is making sure kind of everything stays a bit modular. So everything will go either through a manager or through events, so that you can pull things out and put them back in really easily without actually breaking things. So that's one thing I'm going to try to do. So that hopefully fixes kind of all of the inaccuracy issues with various SDKs. But it's not the perfect solution. But what kind of VRTK is getting there, which hopefully, I know it takes a lot of work to make it happen, but hopefully soon we will, hopefully in future projects, be able to actually integrate into that, but not just yet. Multiplayer, no, to make sure we stay in a 1 month project. Our previous project, Artillery Bay, which you saw on the channel, started out as kind of 2 to 3 months, and then because of multiplayer and a bunch of other factors, like kept on extending. So don't want to make that same mistake, but also trying to make sure multiplayer will hopefully be easily added in. Awesome. Really want to be super transparent with this series and just kind of show what that process is like. And yeah, okay, so that's all the comments. Again, if you have anything, even if it's just saying hi, love seeing that in the comments. That's that. I want to quickly dive in. I tweaked the planner a little bit, so I've basically hidden anything post Sunday when the video came out. Still working on a little bit of gray boxing. Abdo is working on the 3D hand. Originally, I had the time ring in, but pushed that back a little bit. And then gonna go ahead and switch to the low poly rooms. So the time, past, and present switch I got working. I think that works really well, and I'll show a little clip of that right now. And the one thing that I need to do still is kind of a past and present relation. So for example, if you have like a seed in the past and that grows into a plant in the present. I want something to kind of correlate those two different objects. Still need to write that script, but that's kind of what that is. And yeah, art is definitely coming along. I'm just working super hard on that. One thing that we're trying to figure out, and we've kind of dedicated a little bit of 2 weeks to it, is what this style is going to look like. Obviously, it's not the style that's in Unity right now. That's me using Pro Builder to just kind of lay the grounds. But yeah, that's basically the nutshell version of it. Just trying to figure out in kind of a low poly style, something that looks a little unique, but is able to give you that contrast of kind of like in cartoons where you know where things are going to be moved versus things that are in the background. So kind of trying to figure out what that'll look like. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why art's going to take a little longer now and hopefully be super fast in the future. And yeah, time puzzle 1 is basically almost done. So that's kind of the timeline. I'll keep updating this as we go along. And let me go ahead and dive into Unity. So same layout as before. The only thing here is I've added in kind of an elevator and a little makeshift button there. But this is your start room. I'm gonna add in a lot of miniature details to kind of make things pop and not make it so simple. But that's what's gonna happen here. And this is where the player spawns. And they go through this little maze. One thing I realized through prototyping is this is actually a little short. I would have liked it to be a little longer, but that's something we're going to fix when we go into kind of a more environment first pass from the 3D art side. So hopefully that'll get fixed. But I do kind of liked having kind of these blocks here blocking things. Next here, this is what's going to be the laser room and where you'll actually end up going to get the elevator. And last here is where the time ring is. The flow of this is actually, you go through here, you have to dodge through lasers. If you get hit, you'll have to restart, come back through. So it's kind of go fast through this tunnel here, go slow, just kind of basically getting the practice of the locomotion. You'll get to the end, that's where you'll get the time ring, and you'll get kind of a little audio clip that plays on like what you need to do. From there, this door closes, so you're actually trapped in here. You can't actually escape. So what you'll have to do is go to the past, which is a separate scene. I'll pull that up. So you go to the past here. Here, the door won't be there, so you'll be able to escape out. There'll be kind of like a construction or something over here to indicate that that's where you kind of have to go to the elevator, go back to the present. Of course, the door has to stay closed, and you have, this is actually a little cloth sim, and if I actually pull that up in the inspector, you'll see that. It's basically just a plane with a clock simulator. We might actually add some textures, just make that a little fancier. It's rendered on both sides, so I had to make a little custom shader here. Not really that custom, it's just a standard shader with cull off turned on, so you can get the double faces. And yeah, that's the cloth. You'll have to pull that off. Once you do, you'll go here into the elevator, press the button, moves you to the next stage. Haven't implemented that part yet, but that's basically this flow in a nutshell, all kind of prototyped out. I wanted to kind of focus on this first level a little bit more than probably I will during the gray boxing phase of the others, because this is where all the mechanics and kind of the foundation of all the scripts gets played out. So that was kind of why this took maybe a little more time than I would have wanted to, but hopefully that pays off in the end. And yeah, that's basically the flow. You saw here I have 3 scenes. Mainly the second scene is a duplicate of the present, but with some stuff for when you come back. So that's basically it. Pretty straightforward. Again, if you have any questions about kind of the setup and everything, definitely let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's the flow. The next steps here are basically adding in the elevator to go down to the 2nd floor. Obviously adding in some lasers here because lasers are fun. And the one thing that I will need to do is kind of save points. So when you get hit by lasers or get hit by anything really, a projectile, a bullet, doesn't really matter. If you get hit by any of those, you need to go to a save point, which could either be basically where you started from, or it could also be kind of where the time ring was. Those will kind of have to be custom made, but basically just having a custom way to save. Probably we'll start with player prefs and then move that to something a little more robust, like just a kind of a file. So yeah, that's where we are, where we're going. Definitely a lot of work to be done, but really excited on where this is coming along. Also, again, let me know if there's any kind of topics you want for tutorials from things you see. Flying was a great example of this. Luckily, I'd actually already gone ahead and copied that code from that tutorial into here. So that's how that worked out. And yeah, this is the flow. So thanks so much for watching, and looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Till next time, this has been Fused Man, and I'm signing out.